Hello, welcome to Try Animes, another weekly roundup from AmiAmi of figures that are released this week. I've enlarged the resolution, scrolled it, basically zoomed in on AmiAmi to make it easier for you guys to see. So this will be from the 18th to the 22nd of July 2023. There's been quite a few Square Enix figures. There's a whole lineup of them from the Final Fantasy 16 that's currently on PS5. Hopefully we get a PS port of it. I'm just scrolling through the dates now so you can see what's been released. Probably some highlights of what's been brought out into stock would be Chainsaw Man Power and the Rimuru that got reincarnated as a slime. Beast Styles figures, 38,500 and 39,600. So they're available to buy now at AmiAmi. There's not really any others that I could think of that are in stock and worth mentioning. Not that I saw. Nope. Okay, so we'll get into it. Top 10 that are released. So you got Pop Up Parade, Konosuba, Aqua, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, an Android, School Days, Koto, Final Fantasy 16. You'll see that later. Sister, Pre, Hololive, Ichigo, Tornado, and Final Fantasy 10 Play Arts. Yeah, so we'll cover, I think, all of these apart from the Androids should be in my tabs up here. So we'll get into it. So you got Meina Hayakawa illustrated by Oya 1/7, complete figure by Lovely for 20,900 yen. This is a cast-offable figure, I'm pretty sure. Certain aspects of it are, but yeah, it's just a relatively, so as you can see, that there are cast-off parts. Depending on your tier, it's a play bunny, it's a bunny suit figure, pretty much on the lolly side. For 20,000 yen, it's not too bad. For 1/7 though, comes with a bonus. What is the bonus? Wall scroll. Okay. It looks fine overall. Base is obviously very simple, but I think this might just be what the prototype base comes with. Obviously, it doesn't have the same appeal as what a freeing figure would do, where you got the size as well. Probably for 1/7 and how simple she is, should probably be a bit cheaper, but cast obviously raises the price up a bit and makes it, generally means that they can retain the value a bit more. But it's not too bad, and Lovely. I don't know how they are as a manufacturer. We'll just have to see how it is when it gets released, and that's March 2024. Arkanites, Ejafjala Dreamland version, 1/7. This is a very quite by Mythos, so this should actually be quite good. Mythos has been pretty good with value as well. Their value oriented, their prices have come up a bit, but for 21,700 yen, this figure's got a lot going on for it, obviously. And I think the other figure that's in the background here is on the other tab. So if this one's released, this is quite good looking figure if you're going for that more sort of Victorian-esque dress style figure, I suppose, with the top hat. And she seems to be some sort of demon race, but quite good overall. I think the paint job looks pretty good. Overall, detailing looks good. The hairstyle looks pretty good overall as well. And there's obviously quite a lot of detail. There's a good enough amount of detail on the hair, so there's nothing to complain about really. It's Arknights, so if you're big into your Arknights, then it might be worth getting this one. It's quite a good looking figure overall, and it comes with, looks like these keychain things, bonuses, acrylic key charm, and that's coming out in April 2024. And then we got Arknights Amiya Dreamland version as well, by Mathis, 21,730 yen. This one I think I prefer a bit more because of the blues. Having the other ones, obviously, sort of the pinks and the whites sort of blend together because they're very similar tone. Whereas with this one, you've got the warm tone of the whites because there's obviously some shading that are like brownish or pinkish shading going on the whites, and then with the coolness of the blue, it gives you a good contrast in my mind. And I do prefer this one as well with the sort of the crown jewels and the scepter or the part of that, so that's quite good. Like looking. This is the one I prefer out of the two, and this one's coming out in April 2024. If you're big into Arc Knights, then you've got these as options. I don't play Arc Knights, so I can't say if I'm familiar with these, unfortunately. Rebuild of Evangelion Rei Ayanami 1/6 scale, complete figure by Amakuni. So this is pretty plain looking, no shading. It's just Rei in her plug suit, and that's basically it, or pilot suit. For 19,900 yen. She's 1/6, so she can be a bit bigger. She stands at 27 centimeters tall, which is not too bad size. So price wise is probably not too bad. The hair looks quite good, because I think that sort of matches what's actually in the anime quite closely, at least with the shading they've got going on here. Compared to some other figures I've seen of Rei. But apart from that, it's the suits, there's not really much shading going on, but I actually quite like this figure overall. It's a very simple pose, but depends on how your aesthetic with the Evangelion series. There's obviously quite a few other versions coming out that have been out and released, so you've got options at least. SNK Bishoujo Shirime SNK Heroines Tag Team Frenzy. I'm not familiar with this one, but it's by Kotobukiya, so this should be quite good quality overall actually. 13,860 yen, February 2024. I do quite like it. The pose is obviously a bit more unique, but it might be whether she does this in the anime, I don't know. But yeah, no, it's quite good. I do like the aesthetic. Having the eyes hidden is obviously a bit more of a unique take. It looks like the headpiece though here, that's a bit off-putting. I suppose if you're seeing her from the front, you're not going to notice that. But it looks like the forehead fringe is detachable, probably for transport reasons. All this back bit is detachable, so that these the tails coming off the end of her hair don't actually get snapped off in shipping. So I don't know which way around it is, but one of those will be detachable, and yeah, it's quite clear here, unfortunately, as well. Apart from that, it's actually quite good, nice looking figure. Nothing to moan about, and I think the price is actually a really good value if you're familiar with this series. SNK Heroines Tag Team Frenzy. Probably I'd have to look into that. But yeah, it's quite good looking thing. And it's Kotobukiya, so it's going to have the good quality overall. Paint jobs I think it's going to be perfectly fine. And the price is obviously really good. So yep, good figure to look out for. Here we go, here's the lineup of Final Fantasy 16 figures. So I'll quickly go blast through their names. So you got, and they're all by Square Enix. So it's you got Hugo Kupka, Benedicta Harmon, Barnabas Thorn, Dion Lesage, Jill Warwick, Sidolf Telemon, Clive Rossfield and Torgal, and you've got these separately as well. If you don't want them as a set, I think you probably would get them a set. That's it for Final Fantasy 16. So these are obviously sort of like Figma action style figures that are posable if you want to. The joints are what obviously will ruin it for people, but overall they're not too bad actually. Like the shading on this guy's shirt is actually really well done, as long as the final product is like this for Hugo Captor. So I think he's not too bad version of this. What they've managed to do and incorporate the joints quite well into the elbow form and whatnot. So it is a bit off-putting. It depends if you prefer static or if you want a dynamic pose, especially if you're going to get the lineup. But they're all 11,800 yen, apart from when you get the pair, they're 22,500 yen. And then Benedicta Harmon. Again, not too bad looking. Overall figure. I don't have much problems with it. You get some accessories, some different hand options. Didn't see. Oh, just got some hand options for him, and that's about it. Oh, you can have him sitting down as well. So it's this line at Square Enix have in the past been obviously a bit hit and miss with their figures. They're sort of here's Barnabas Thrawn. The detailing looks quite good. What you can do with them seems to be quite good, but I think a lot of people aren't happy with the quality. But then, like, you're thinking of the prices, they're less than 12,000 yen. I suppose when you pay shipping to get them in, then it'll be quite a bit. But really, I don't see much of a problem with these. I've got 2 Square Enix figures. I've got Tifa, and I've got Aerith. There's Tifa in her purple dress and Aerith in the red dress. I need to unbox Aerith actually. That'll be coming up in a following up video. But yeah, Tifa I've been quite happy with. I got the static versions. I didn't get their lineup of them where you can like sort of pose them about like this. But this thing, they sort of tanked in value after they got launched. Well, not tanked, but they got a lot cheaper after launch, and I paid full RRP, so I'm kind of a bit hesitant to recommend to people to obviously get these. I think they've priced these accordingly, so 12,000 yen is probably what they should be at. Maybe a bit cheaper, but I think the detail actually on the outfits is quite good. Like obviously the ruffles and the folds that they got going in the clothes is actually really well done. The joints don't look too bad. They're not horrid like I've seen on some other like Figmas or similar style, action figure posable figures. But these look quite nice overall, I think. And if you're obviously playing through Final Fantasy 16 and you're really enjoying it, and you're either maxing out them as the entire party, or there's 1 or 2 characters that you really enjoy, then you can get them. It's not going to cost you an arm and a leg, and you can obviously position them on your desk or on your shelf in whatever way you kind of want, as they are. And as said, I'm quite happy with the detailing on these. I do have to agree that the teeth and the Aerith are a bit, for the price that you pay them at when you pre-ordered, they weren't worth it for the paint job. But the paint job's fine. It's only a bit better than sort of like pop-up parade quality, I'd say, what you get from pop-up parades. So it's not too bad. But yeah, and then we've got 2 other Final Fantasy X play arts, Kai, Yuna, and Tidus. So from the Final Fantasy X game I've not played. So again, these are other ones that are posable, sort of action figure-esque. They look quite fine in my mind. These are more expensive, 18,000 yen. This is what Tifa and Aerith came out at. So I don't think these are worth that sort of price. But apart from that, they're not too bad. But I don't really collect these sorts of figures that you can position and whatnot. The height of these though, let's see what scale they're getting. Height 27 centimeters, so they're about 1/6, 1/7 scale on height, so they're not too 24.5 centimeters. Final Fantasy 15 ones are, well, that's small. 15.5, 9.5 centimeters, just under 10 centimeters. So these are actually quite short, so that's probably why the price is reflecting that they're 6,000 yen cheaper. 14.4 centimeters. This guy is 15, so just under 16 centimeters. So yeah, these are like 1/8 scale, 1/8 to basically to 1/9 scale, which makes sense for the price now that you think about it. This guy should be on a bit of a bigger side. He's 17.9. He's obviously a bit more built. Apart from that, they're not too bad. But yeah, I think obviously these Final Fantasy 16 Bring Arts lineup are the smaller scale ones. Final Fantasy 10 ones are obviously larger scales. That's why they cost more. But I still don't think they'll once they're released in April, there won't be that much. Next up, Rent-A-Girlfriend Chizuru Mizuhara See-Through Lingerie. Figure 1/6. This is by Hakori Musume. This is actually quite... In terms of the Chizuru figures, this one's a bit better because you're obviously getting a set with the figure, not just Chizuru as herself. So you can actually do a few dynamic things with this. as you'll see in the pictures, you can have her in different positions and whatnot, and the door you can slide. So the set piece that she's standing on, that's her base, is quite good. So you can sort of do this sort of figure, this sort of thing, where you can have the door open and peeking through. So you can have that on your shelf, and that might be a bit more enticing, obviously, to certain people that would collect this sort of figure. You know, the waifu collector style anime collector. It's not too bad actually. It's probably one of the better concepts of Chizuru that I've come across. The other ones that I've seen in the past have been a bit lackluster, really, unfortunately. So they're a bit like the one where she's in a red dress. It's just like it's her in a red dress. There's nothing unique really about it. There's lots of other figures that have come out of that. This one obviously a bit more unique and a bit more interesting in my mind. So considering I think most people walked away with from Rent a Girlfriend that it's a bit of a lack of personality from the anime, so this actually brings a bit more personality to the figure and a bit to Chizuru overall. So I actually quite enjoy this figure. It comes out in December 2023, so not long now, about 5 months. So it might be worth getting this if you do like Chizuru. I do enjoy Rent a Girlfriend as just a guilty pleasure. That's about it. But it's not too bad, I don't think. 20,000 yen, considering you get the set pieces actually and all this other accessories, definitely I think worth it overall. We'll have to see what the final product is, so maybe wait and see what other people who have pre-ordered her, what the final product looks like. Princess Connect Redive, Kokoro Princess on 7th scale. It's by Shibuya Scramble. Shibuya Scramble will try and do a bit of an E-stream, it looks like, by going all out on these effect parts, which I actually quite enjoy. This obviously shows the dynamics. I do really need to watch and Princess Connect Redive. I haven't finished it yet. I watched the first couple of episodes and then stopped. So this is actually quite a good looking figure. I actually enjoy this. I'm a sucker for effect parts as long as they're done well. And this looks like they're done well. They've taken definitely a leaf out of E-Stream's book with like when they did Rem and Ram. E-Stream for the effect parts on there. So this is, as long as they can maintain this quality of the effect parts and how shiny and translucent that they are, then I'm quite happy saying 34,000 is probably worth it. But Shibuya Scramble have had, I think, quality assurance issues in the past, so we'll just have to wait and see. Maybe not pre-order it yet. August 2024, so you've got time. You've got over a year, unless it gets delayed or brought up. But we'll have to wait and see how that turns out. Overall, the figure I actually really like. In terms of its prototype, it's great. We'll just have to wait and see close to the time if there's any more leaked photos that come out or any image updates that might as we get closer to the release date. So maybe it's something to keep an eye on. Add to your bookmarks on Ami. B-Style Threat. Order Ruler Altair Pendragon quarter scale. This one I actually was eyeing up really hard on. I really do want this figure, but she's 49,500 yen, which is way too much for her, even though it is a unique. Sorry, 1 minute. Even though it's a much more unique B-style figure than a lot of the other ones, considering the other ones are like about 42,000 yen for sort of a standard B-style figure. This one's obviously a lot more unique in the design, the gold trimming and whatnot going on. It's definitely a lot more classy and whatnot. I just don't know whether it's worth 50,000 yen before shipping. Quarter scale, she's going to be very huge, so 47 centimeters. So I think she might be as tall as my Shion. We'll have to measure up and see at some point. December 2023, so we're not going to have to wait long, really, 4 or 5 months. This will be one I'll keep an eye on. I've got 2 other quarter scales on pre-order that should be coming out soon. They got delayed, but this, I think she would suit with those 2. With her in the middle, I think would be quite good, but I'll have to wait and see. I do like that, like the blue legs and the blue tights, but it seems like the way they've done it is like underneath it's blue paint, like obviously a glossy blue paint, and then they've got blue fishnet stockings over the top of that. Those rubbing against each other I think will take the sheen off over time, so that might be something to watch out for long time collectors of this. And I'm not a big into Fate Grand Order. I haven't got any Fate series figures, but this one I think is something I'm very tempted to purchase, because I do like my quarter scales. It's my favourite scale figures, just they're so bloody expensive. Hololive Productions Yukihina Lamy 1/6 scale by Max Factory. So it's got Max Factory's quality assurance, so I've got no problems with it actually looking like this, the final product. So I reckon it will do. The design is fantastic in my mind. I love the hair, the tinting of this darker rich blue at the end for the highlights. The outfit looks great. I love the corset pinching around her waist, and the skirt, and then the knee-high stockings, thigh-high stockings, and the boots all look really good. This would be something I probably would potentially get to if I was doing like a winter-themed base, or I think it's just the blue as well overall. This is such a rich blue, and the detailing they've got going in the jacket. This is a figure I probably would I'm very tempted to possibly get. I'm going to keep an eye on it. This 35,000 yen though, it is expensive. It is a 1/6 scale, so it's a bit larger. So she is 20 centimeters tall. That's obviously when she's on her knees, so that's pretty good actually. If you're standing up, she'll probably be like 30 centimeters tall, 28, 29 centimeters tall. It's a very good looking figure, I think overall. I've got no problems with this. I think the quality is spot on, and I think the price is actually right for what it is. It might be maybe waiting on release. It probably might get a bit cheaper, but this is definitely one. I think the face looks great. I love the facial expression. I'm not into Hololive, so I don't know if that suits her, but I think the overall design I fall in love with. It's just a bit unique when you get a figure that just draws you in. You go, yes, please, I want that in my collection. So that when you do get that sort of feeling, it's definitely something to keep an eye on that figure, and up to as you get onto launch, if it can just grab you at first sight. Guilty Gear Strive Bridget. This was a image update. So this is 26,890 yen. Looking overall, it looks the same as previously. I've covered it in one of my past videos of this. The shading I think might have been brought up a bit more on her jacket. Handcuff I think might have a bit more shading going on it. So I think they've just done a bit more of a touch up on the paint, it looks like. Do they mention anything in here about why they've done it? No. Okay, well that's fine. Jan 2024, 26,000 yen by Broccoli. I'm glad that they've done image updates, but the only problem with the image updates is you have to obviously go back and then find the previous release of it in the website, and then actually compare them between the two. Unless I don't think MFC would have those like older and newer pictures, unless if someone's gone out there and actually done before and after pictures comparing it. I think overall it looks quite good. Guilty Gear is quite obviously one of those sort of fan favourite figures, like fighting games. Made the Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya Yuki Nagato on 7th. It's a made figure, looks fine. Who's this by? By Miyuki. Not heard them. 24,800 yen, March 2024. So it's a cat themed made lolly, I guess. Basically that's the way it looks to me. There's a cat themed made lolly with a cape that you can take off. Apart from that, it's a very simple figure. I'm surprised they're not showing any behind. Oh, they are showing the cape here. So I guess when you're moving the cape is pop the head off, take the cape off, and then put the head back on. That's probably the way I'd do it. Just then it's not like split. There's no seams or anything going down the cape like on the back here or anything to pull it apart. That's the way that they probably have designed it. And then you got the support rod for the cape. So if you don't want the support rod, take the cape out. That's quite an easy solution. Looks fine. Nothing really to mention about it. This manufacturer is another one of those Chinese brands, I think. So we'll just have to wait and see. Looks fine. Pop-up Parade Konosuba Aqua Bunny version L size complete. This one's obviously taken top spot on AmiAmi, and I've pre-ordered this as well. 7,480 yen, coming out in December 2023. This is a figure I need to get the Megumin B-Star, but her pre-orders are closed, so I'm gonna have to wait till she gets launched, unfortunately, because I would like to have these as a pair. The L series I've quite enjoyed. I've got the Berserk L series, Berserk Guts and Berserk Armor, and I've quite enjoyed that one. The detailing compared to the normal Parade is definitely much better. So hopefully they carry on that with these L series as well. I think there's a Lucy L series that I need to get as well. It's something I need to look into is the other their large size lineup of figures. But yes, no, this is one I think a lot of people have been waiting for, and they like. Obviously, Aqua's one is Konosuba is a big popular franchise of anime series, so definitely worth getting if you can squeeze them into your budget for December. Yep, I would definitely auto include it. Really, for the value, it doesn't cost you a lot, and I think they've done good with their L series since they've done quite a few now. They've done a couple of one or two Attack on Titan ones. They've done a couple of Fairy Tail ones. I think Lucy and Urza L series. So and they're apparently quite good. CCG Expo Jiling 2020 version 1/7 by Furyu, 29,700 yen. This Furyu is one of those manufacturers where, unfortunately, this is a bit like pastel-y. I think that's the best way to say is there's no shading, obviously, which is fair enough. I suppose that might be just the style that they're going for this specific artwork that they sourced it from. But I think it's just too matted or satin. Yeah, it's like too much of like a matte, bland colour. And the colours just sort of blend together too much to me. Like it all looks just like a spectrum. There's no big contrast apart from, I guess, like her dark purple skirt. Apart from that, though, it looks fine. It's not something I probably would get, but it's at least to make you aware of. Coming out in May 2024. Nothing wrong with it. I just don't think she's worth the 30,000 yen. Really, for 1/7 scale, there's not enough going on there to warrant the value. Azure Lane Trieste complete by Union Creative, 21,300 yen. It's another one of those Azure Lane figures with sort of a semi-transparent outfit or top. So that the manufacturers are trying to do semi-transparent, semi-see-through outfits. They generally hit or miss. I do like the shading on the skirt, looks good. The tights look like they're done really well. The hair looks actually really good. The pose is quite good. I do like this pose for her looking over her shoulder, and the facial expression looks pretty good. Nothing to complain about really. 21,300 yen. If you are into doing like this schoolgirl outfit series of figures in your collection, then there's an Azure Lane one out there for you. The Idolmaster Cinderella Girls Chitsuru Kurosaki 1/7 scale by Wave. Wave have done quite a few figures. I think they're the main ones that do Idolmaster. This is actually quite a good looking one because the red and the blue contrast, obviously the warm and cold tones. That's this sort of thing contrast I like going on. Base looks, obviously the red base goes with her shoes, but yeah, I do love the details going on here. It definitely looks really good overall. For 25,900 yen, I think worth it really for 1/7 scale. With them, how they've got the painting and the extra frills on the skirt going on. The detailing looks good. Obviously the creases up in the chest area from above the corset looks really good. I think the only thing that takes it away is this semi-transparent end pieces of her hair kind of puts it, but that's in really harsh lighting. So it depends on what your lighting setup is like in your display case. That might take into account, because some people don't mind having this sort of semi-transparent fading at the ends of the hair. For me, it depends on the character. and what the colour shading is. Like for me, it's like purple. So this is a quite nice looking figure. I do enjoy the like this figure a lot. It's a very nice looking figure overall by Waves. We'll have to wait and see how that turns out. And that's December 2023. One Punch Man Tornado by bellow for 18,500 yen, March 2024. It's quite a good looking figure. You haven't seen a lot of One Punch Man figures come out, at least I haven't, over the past year. Looks fine. The effect parts are okay. They're not amazing. She's going to be quite small overall, I think, though. She is 24.5 centimeters tall. Looks fine, I think, overall. Might want to wait till it's launched because it'll probably get cheaper. 18,500 yen isn't a bad price, but yeah. Then we've got Sister Priscilla 1/6 scale by Damp Liquid for 22,000 yen. It's another one of those figures that is cast off from a Chinese manufacturer. Obviously, this is something I probably would get hold of eventually. I've seen a lot of these nun-style priestess figures coming out recently. This is June 2024. Probably something I probably would get, but I'll wait till launch really to see what happens with it. It looks fine overall. The hair obviously looks fine. I think it's quite an attractive looking pose, so might be worth getting hold of if you're into those sort of figures. The Mega House's Gem series, Bleach Ichigo. So there's Ichigo in his I don't know, it's probably from the new so I haven't watched the new Bleach series yet. This looks fine actually. This on 36,000 yen. I think this is a bit expensive really. Very dynamic, there's a lot going on. Base looks quite good. The weathering on the base actually looks really good. But I think him overall, Ichigo's not, I think there's some shading going on. It's very hard to shade black obviously. Looks fine. I think very dynamic. It's going to be quite a large figure. This is 30 centimeters tall. And you can only order it by itself, single shipment, Jan 2024. 1,000-year war art figure. Not huge into Bleach, but there's an Ichigo figure. There's not that many Bleach figures out, obviously, official ones, at least licensed. And then we've got Hokkai Gakuren Femmerin's Little Devil version by Mihoyo. She is 17 centimeters tall. It's quite a short figure. It's a lolly style succubus. Nothing amazing I think going on there. 15,600 yen, probably a bit pricey, but she is 1/7. And that really wraps up this week of anime figure reviews. A bit rushed there at the end, but it's because these sort of last few were a bit sort of fine and meh really. Obviously the first ones were a bit better. Catch you next week's video when I do another week of figure releases. That'll be from the 24th of July to the 29th of July. So catch you in the next video. Peace.